Hey everybody, Superfluous J here with another Factorio for beginners, and we're filling up our inventory with stone as we always do so we can pave the world. We're also going to grab all of these bullets because we can never have too many bullets. In fact, I'm going to just, if you hit the letter Z, it drops your thing on the ground. And I'm going to hit the letter Z with these things because I don't want them anymore. I'll keep the shotgun shells, but I don't want to use that shotgun even by accident. I'm also going to drop a radar right here so we get a better view of these guys who are starting to scare me. But today we are actually, you know what? Before I do any of that, let's lay some more turrets down because I'd hate for certain parts of my factory to get blowed up by bad guys. So we're going to put a turret here, and we'll put a turret. Oh, I got stuck somehow. Oh, that's funny. You can run between these guys? But you can't run between these guys, so you can get in there, but then you get stuck. That's amusing. Okay, now we're going to put a turret here, and I'm putting this turret in a position where he can protect all these guys, and also when the biters come to attack him, this guy can take over and shoot at them as well. Each one of these guys is going to get 30 bullets in him, give or take. Looks like this guy's going to get more, 44. I'll take half of them out. Right-click takes half. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that before, but it never hurts. Then we're going to put one down here with the same idea. It's going to protect our science. And let us get... let's get that. Speaking of science, we're not researching anything. And while we're not researching anything, I'm going to research things that, that don't actually give us anything super important. Weapon shooting speed and physical projectile damage obviously will help us when we fight the bad guys, but they don't give us anything new. It's not like we're getting new bullets. It's just our bullets that we have are better. I'm also going to research stone walls because they don't really matter that much in this playthrough, but I'm gonna eventually be building stone walls, so I might as well get those researched. And then I'm going to research steel processing as well. Steel processing is going to be huge. And then once I get that researched, we'll talk about more things. I'm going to research the steel axe too, because that doesn't give you anything. This just makes hand mining things faster, which is nice. And then the only thing after that really to research is heavy armor. So I think I'm going to research that. Actually, you know what? I won't research that, so I have to do it manually. So I'll remember to talk about it when the time comes. And I'm just going to lay a string of turrets here. I'm using the distance on the turret as a gauge of where to lay the next turret. I just don't want any biters to come through, because we're not going to get the same warning that we got last time where we got an achievement for the biters attacking us. We're not going to get that next time. So I want a little bit of an early warning system here that they're coming. I'm going to use my regular bullets here. I'm gonna put half in here, and then I think I can take half out until they're at 25. There's no easy way to do this that I know of. If there is a better way to do this, feel free to tell me. I'm just getting a certain number of bullets in each one. It doesn't really matter how much. Let's go 17, and then I'll start leaving more than that. Oops, I just said I would leave more than that. 16 is fine. I'm just grabbing them out of my gun. 53 is too much. 26 is probably fine. And then put half of these. 39 is too much. We'll take half out. And then I'm going to take more bullets out of here because I always want more bullets. So I got plenty of bullets for my gun. I've got bullets in all of my turrets here. We're protected on this side. That's really where I'm scared of the biters, is over here. Because we got all these biters and these guys shouldn't be a big deal, at least for a while, although we're starting to encroach on this desert, so that is going to probably be a big deal eventually. But today we want to work on the bus, and I just started running down there and I realized I'm going to need a ton of belts. So I'm just going to take all these belts, all these splitters, all these. Let's go ahead and grab these. And might as well grab these too. It's not going to hurt to have extras, because we are going to do some constructing today. Okay, moving on with the plan here. We've got iron and we've got copper. Then we've got 4 lines of something else, and this is going to be actually reserved for more copper, believe it or not. So much so that I may actually run the copper that we have down here. Then we're going to want 4 more, which is actually a space. So I'm gonna do this to imply that it's a space. And you know what? I'll do that over here too, so I remember. This is an empty space that doesn't have anything planned for it. Then we got these trees to chop down. I'm looking forward to researching some of the technologies that allow you to get rid of trees a little more automatically. That's for sure. Okay, and you know what? I'll do this. So it's obvious, to me at least, this is a marker, just an indicator to me that this is not going to be used for anything. Then we got a space 2, and then we're going to have steel, gears, and then a couple things that we'll talk about later. Steel I'm researching right now. Then we're going to have stone, brick, coal, stone, brick, coal, and iron ore, which is needed for a couple things. And then these are going to be things that are way up in the future. And then I'm going to have empty and another empty. And this is my bus. This is ideally the entire bus. We'll find out. there might be things that I need, and I'll stick them on these empty lines. But ideally, this is what we're going to be putting on the bus, and I usually end up wanting to put more on the bus in the future. So what do we got here? These are going to be copper. Then we got an empty space. Then we want steel here, which we can't make yet, and then gears, which we can make. So let's make gears. This is our first job, is to set up gear production over here. I should probably chop these trees down. And what you want to do here is, I left these spaces on purpose. I left 2 of them over here on purpose because you like a lot of room off to the side from your bus in order to do a little bit of belt logistics. If you need to fiddle belts around for something as simple as gears, you don't really have to worry about that kind of a thing. But for the more difficult to make things, it's good to have some room to shuffle your belts around in order to your belts come out here, and then you have to like move it over here, move it up here, and then the belts come out, and you're going to need to move those around. And now that I look at this, I actually think I'm going to Control X, and I'm going to move these guys back right there. And let me pick these up really quick. Oh, here's another thing. Notice the ghosts are staying. That's because I held down the right mouse button to delete that. It doesn't delete ghosts when you do that. That's very convenient, because if you start doing that, then you have that problem where it actually does delete the ghosts, which is a bad thing. So let's put these guys back down. Oops, I totally screwed that up. This is a simple enough thing that I don't really need ghosts for it. And I'm putting these lines here. I don't know if I mentioned this the last time I was doing this, like on the main bus, but I'm putting these power poles here specifically for a very, very specific reason. Here, if you look at all the power, there's ways to get inserters on both sides of these guys, pulling in and sticking out of both of them, so that you can so that 4 power poles can do the entire work for all of these. It's very convenient to not have to worry about putting power poles all over the frickin' place. Okay, we're gonna make gears. We didn't really talk about this last time with gears and a lot of things in Factorio. And that's, I guess density is the right word for it. Gears, if you look at the ingredients, it takes 2 iron plates to make a single gear. And the benefit of that means that by turning iron plates into gears, we're condensing the iron plates down. A belt of gears is actually twice as many iron plates as a belt of iron plates. So if you can do that, then you don't have to have as much stuff on your bus, which is super convenient. So how do we do this? Did I start this? I did not start this where I wanted to. This is where I want to start it. So guess what? I need to chop down more trees here. Tell you what, I'm going to do this part off camera because chopping trees is super boring. Soon we're going to not have to chop trees, and that's going to be a glorious thing. But while I do have to chop the trees, I don't want you to have to watch me chopping the trees. So I'll be back when probably this entire area is tree free. Okay, I got it. I've got all the trees chopped down, and this is now down below where I wanted the bus to start. This is like the start of the bus. The rest of this is stuff getting to the bus. And I should probably have chopped these trees down too, but what are you going to do? Okay. Now, I want to run these guys down a little bit farther. And then I need to know where I'm going to be coming at this guy. Now, because he uses twice as many plates as he's going to get gears, I want to run plates on the outside. And that way, 2 belts of plates are coming in, and then I'm going to have 1 plate of gears, or 1 belt, I'm sorry, of gears coming out. So we're gonna put inserters here and here. And then these are going to run back to here. Oop. Inserters here, here, and here, and here, here, and here. And then I'm going to not rotate the belts correctly. Then we want more inserters. Oops. Literally doesn't matter where these things are. This is just as fine as that. It just, this looks better. So we're going to have plates coming in this side. And this is the end of this line. And then we're going to have gears coming out this side. And and then we want to run underground belts, and then let me make sure I know where I want my gears to be. After this space, I want gears to be on this line right here. So it looks like it's about here-ish. That's where I want gears to start going from here. So here's the run and drag thing. This is a key in all of Factorio. Remember I talked about the power poles. You can click on a power pole and then just run with it, and it drags and it puts it exactly where. That also works for underground belts. We haven't needed it yet, but it's really cool because you click and then you drag and it knows to flip it around to be the outer one, and then it drops another one, and then you can just do this all day long until we get here. And because it's 4 wide, it's actually already set up perfectly on these lines. Now this line I don't want. We just want them to come up here and move their way down the bus. That's their bus lane. And then similarly, in order to get iron over to them, I need to come over here, and starting right here, I need to run across, and I just know for a fact that it's going to be perfect. And I don't want this one. I want that like that. And then the same thing here. This is a little bit harder because if you run along a line, it's going to if you run along one of these guys, it pushes you down, so it can actually screw up your positioning here. But I think this is the right lane. Oops. There we go. So now as soon as we get iron going out these, gears will start coming out there. Of course, we're going to need to send power to it. But now I just run a splitter to split off half of the plates off this way. This splitter does the same thing. Don't worry about the plates getting mixed up. I'll talk about that in a minute. But then we need to run power. That's another reason why I like to have some space out here. I can now run power up like this to, say, maybe up 1 more. And then I'm just going to run it across until we get it over here to the bottom of the smelter array. And boom, we have power, and we're making gears. Now, one thing you're going to notice is the iron plates aren't coming in as fast as they can. It's not a huge deal, really, because we're not really using them as fast as we can. However, we can make that better by taking iron out of all of these lines. And we can make it even better by forcing these lines to output to the left, which is going to send all of the output of this thing onto the belt. And if I do that to all of these, I right-clicked this guy and I left-clicked these guys because I copied him, right-click, paste to left-click. That makes sure all the iron gets shoved over to this side of the belt. Now you can't really see that on here, but if we take all the iron off of these, notice until it gets backed up, because all of these lines have the left lane of all of these belts has iron ore in them, so that's the only reason they came out this way. Another problem is we don't have enough iron coming in to really fill up all 4 of these belts. This is a false thing. I don't have 4 belts of iron. I don't even have 1 full belt of iron. Eventually we'll have more. It's just currently we don't. Also, we're not using up a full belt because we've only got 8 of these machines. For now, 8 is perfectly fine. I might double it eventually, but right now, this many gears is perfectly fine. Also, what I'm going to do here is I'm basically going to replicate what I have up here. And as soon as I have that, I'm going to cut this off, and I'm not going to use it anymore. Also, while we're talking about it, we haven't barely touched our science. We're still researching the very first thing that I queued up at the beginning of the episode, even though I cut all those trees down. The reason for that is we've only got 2 science labs running, and obviously we have enough science packs to have more science labs. So why don't I build a couple more? I'm going to build 2 more. One there, one there. This guy's going to pass to him. And I'm going to actually run this belt down a little bit farther, so that and this power pole, actually we need a power pole here. Doesn't really matter where. I can take this one off just so it looks a little bit prettier. So now we're basically doubling our science production here by doing this, which is nice. Also, we should probably check our power. Oh yeah, we're fine. We still have about twice as much available power than we need. I should probably mention that too. This is not the easiest graph to look at. When you click a power pole, this is how much we can totally produce. This is how much we are producing. So this is our buffer zone. When this fills up, that's when this one starts going down. And then what this is how much we need. And then this is how much we have if this line wasn't full. That's all it is. And then accumulator charge, we'll deal with that when we get accumulators. So now we're actually using up more science than we're making, which is perfectly fine by me. I could throw another machine here making science, but I don't care that much. We're eventually going to be making science down here as well. So we've got gears being made. The next thing we need to be making is circuits. And circuits are special. Circuits are very special. They're a special thing indeed. They are a special snowflake. Circuits take a lot of resources. You know what I should be doing? One more? No, minus. I want to do one less. I'm going to go over here. And I think this is perfectly fine, but I'm going to do it from here so the belts don't move me over. That's probably fine for now. Sorry about the noise. Oh, I'm too far away for that. I just want this whole thing to have bricks on it. I want to never have to worry about running over anything again. Okay, so I need to chop more trees. I also probably need more turrets to protect my stuff. I'm just going to put one at the end of this line here for now. And say 18 is probably fine for that. Now I'm going to leave some space, and I'm going to leave, I think I'm going to leave 8 lines. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is where I'm going to start making circuits. I like a big amount of space in between my stuff. Space is free in this game. As long as you take it from the biters and can hold it from expansion of biters, space is free. So you don't ever have to worry about that. It's a bigger worry getting crammed in to your own plans and being stuck and having to move things around because you didn't give yourself enough space than it will be ever that you are using up too much space. You can always build more belts. You can always build more. You can always build more. Chop down more trees or blow up more trees, as I will be doing eventually. And you can always claim space. You can never fit more in than you need. So I think I'm going to finish this episode off with a quick discussion here of Circuits. Circuits are special. Like I said, the compactness of gears, where we want to make gears as soon as possible out of iron, because gears use up more belt space than iron. In circuits, if you, let's see, we want to be right here. If you look at copper cables, they are exactly the opposite. One copper plate makes two copper cables. So if we were to make a belt line of copper cables, that's actually worse. That expands one copper plate into two things on the belt. So you're actually using up less space, which is inefficient, and you don't want to do that. So you always want to, whenever you need copper cables, you want to make them right on site and just stuff them into whatever you're doing. If you look here up above in our little mall, I'm doing that up here. That's why I did it. That's why I didn't put copper cables on the bus like I did these guys, because it would be dumb. First of all, they're only needed right here, and second of all, they use up more space. Secondly, let me put these down. If we look here at electronic circuits, we need 3 copper cables for every electronic circuit that we make. These guys make 2 copper cables. Every, whatever it is, every second, every half second. Let me see. Yeah, every half second he makes 2 copper cables. Every half second he needs 3 copper cables. So if we have 2 of these guys, they need 6 copper cables each, and now we're making 6 copper cables. So now if we stuff copper into these guys, stuff these guys into these guys, he's doing double duty. Then we can spit out circuits from this guy. Now he also needs iron plates, and those have to come from somewhere. So we're going to actually run a line down here and use long inserters. Actually, we'll put them on the inside to pull iron off of this belt and then spit copper plates out of this belt. And then what we can do here is we can copy this whole thing, flip it around, and then do the opposite here. We want to use long inserters to put copper plates on this belt that's going out, and use the short inserters to pull iron plates off of this belt that's bringing iron plates in, and then we're going to have another line of copper. That's what we're doing next time. That's what we're doing when I come back on episode whatever, 9, I think it is going to be. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. This is going to be a thing, and this is actually going to be a thing too, because this is a cliff. And you can't get rid of cliffs. Cliffs are in the way. This is why I don't generally have cliffs in the game, because I hate dealing with them. But we're going to have to deal with that. So that's next episode, though. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I am Superfluous J, and I will, as always, talk at you later.